Welcome back to Fired Up with AF podcast. I've got Gregor with me today from Stuart Temperature Solutions, and we're going to talk all things aircon and air source heat pumps. So we're going to dive into Gregor's business shortly. A couple of updates I just want to run through. We've had a few a couple of industry updates and for myself. New boiler tax has been introduced from the government, and this includes a 6% increase on all boilers. So boiler costs have gone up by 6%. Obviously, just make sure that your energy bills don't drive up with an old boiler. So if you do need to replace the boiler, let's get on this before the energy costs drive up with that too. An exciting new addition to the company, we have our showroom, which we have been working on now for the past month. So our bathroom and kitchen showroom is near finishing. So we have 5 bays of bathrooms in here and 3 kitchens. So open days will be announced soon to get things open, and please stay tuned to hear more information on this. We are offering a giveaway today with High Street vouchers. So for anyone who comments and likes the page, we will give you a voucher for High Street vouchers on this, just for a comment and a like. So please get away and subscribe at the same time as well. That's enough of the business on my side. We're up to date again. So we'll start with your business then, Gregor. So just tell us a little bit about your business, kind of your background and what you do.
We're Stuart Temperature Solutions. We're an HVAC and renewables company based in the west coast of Scotland. So we do ventilation, air conditioning, refrigeration for commercial clients, and for domestic clients we do air source heat pumps, air conditioning heat pumps, and we've just started the solar service.
Perfect. So obviously air conditioning in Scotland don't sound a good one, to be honest, but
We get that a lot.
yeah.
But it's air conditioning. More and more folk are realising it's a real efficient form of heating. So
Yeah.
people are moving towards it because they know now.
Perfect. Well, yeah, we'll come on to that a little bit more shortly. So what inspired you to get into that kind of side of the industry?
So it was my dad's. It was me and my dad before. He always had a refrigeration company, and then it kind of led from that into doing air conditioning as well. Back then it was only for cooling. And then it was kind of 2008. There wasn't really that much working about, so he kind of took early retirement and just kind of come in now and again to give me a hand. And then we just kind of grew the company from there. It was Stephen Bonner. He's still with me today. It was me and him for a few years, and then we managed to get the BrewDog contract for fitting other HVAC to their sites. And it was quite funny because my dad, when the first job we done for them was in Southampton, which is 10-hour drive away. So if we drove 20 hours just to fit a cellar,
Yeah.
Dad was like, "What are you doing?" But it was, it was like an up and coming company at the time. So
There's more long-term vision on that than the short-term for you.
yeah. So we went down in the cellar, and then they asked us to do their, then they asked if we could do their aircon, which I said yes. And then we didn't do ventilation at the time, but then when they asked, "Can you do ventilation?" I automatically said yes, panicked, and then tried to work out what we'd done. But I was lucky enough we're subcontracting to a company at the time who designed it and stuff, and he was good enough to give me a hand in kind of designing and look, because we did do the install for him, but it was really just kind of light stuff, but that was kind of threw right in at the deep end, but you work it out.
It's always good to be in the deep end. Yeah, it's, you learn a lot more and a lot quicker, don't you? So
Definitely. No other option.
yeah. And the BrewDog contract, I bet is that still something you run with now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we ended up doing at the height they were opening 3 bars a month. So we had to grow our company to sustain their work.
Yeah.
Then we got a lot of work off the back of that, and then we just kind of grew the company for there, and then we just started adding in more services, like the air source heat pumps, the aircon, stuff like that.
Kind of goes hand in hand with the refrigeration side of things with all the gases on that.
Yeah, aye. It's the same principles. So yeah. But just kind of realise, like, we kind of seen a gap in the market with the domestic side. Not many of the commercial guys were pushing that, so we've been doing that for years now. So
It's finding those gaps in the market at the right time
yeah,
and getting on them before it's too late.
aye, no, definitely, aye.
So obviously you've got a few verticals then, different aspects of your business that you kind of operate on there. How do you control and manage all of that?
We've got a really good team. So we've got Ross who does the renewable side, because there's loads of paperwork involved in that, and just to get everything.
All the MCS.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cost calc. So the
Endless amounts of paperwork.
it's a full-time job for somebody.
Yeah.
Just kind of we've got a really good team who all work, so it's not like a graft. So it's just getting the right people into the right.
So it's a team that kind of work for that, isn't it? They've surrounded yourself with a good team. You're as good as the people around you, they say,
Oh, definitely.
and as good as your last job. So
Can't
yeah,
get without them.
no, absolutely. So yeah, we've got to look after them, haven't we?
Yeah.
So obviously you talked about BrewDog there, growing your business
Yeah.
with BrewDog kind of growing theirs. What other strategies and kind of, what strategies have you had in place to grow your business?
So when you first start out, you're doing everything. Like you're doing the invoicing, you're doing the marketing, you're doing the job, and then it's just trying to kind of delegate that, and then you start learning about marketing more because you're maybe off the tools more. You're starting to learn about marketing and just kind of always learning new things, and then we start to learn about the lead generation, and just kind of evolving it from that. Just other ways of getting the leads into, and then it's the sales as well. Like, I never thought we'd have a salesman until I came to Trade Master.
Yeah.
And then it's like, I just opened my eyes up to sales, and it was like, oh my God, this is a kind of game changer.
Yeah, salesperson is a complete game changer, isn't it? We're at, a couple of months in with ours, and yeah, the sales that they do, I look back and think, what a, like you say, game changer. What a breath of fresh air, really, for the business.
Aye. Because we've always kind of grew, kind of not pushing sales. We would always just kind of, we would always be busy enough. I would struggle to get the guys to keep up with the demand we had, so I never really pushed sales. But
I think that you get to, you operate a business just to grow organically,
yeah,
don't you? And you never really think of buying the lead generations or spending money on judo and
no,
the sales person and stuff like that. There's always been organic referral, recommendation work. It's easy work to quote for. So having that knowledge now to learn, it enables the growth to be a lot easier, doesn't it?
yeah, no, definitely. It's just knowing the, definitely.
So what drives you to, enable that growth? What gives you that motivation?
Number one is making more money to give family a better life. But on par with that, number one is to create a company for the guys to all make money, because we're all here. All the teams there to make money at the end of the day. So I want to just keep growing the company to create opportunities so that people can step up into better roles and make more money. Like, they'll replace the next guy, and then the next guy will move up, and just always grow so that people can always have the opportunity to make more money.
Yeah, it's quite often a swear word, profit in business, isn't it? People say, well, what do you mean you're making money?
Aye.
That's what we're here for, So everyone tries to screw you for nothing, want everything for free.
Yeah.
But then, next week when that business goes out of business, they wonder why.
Aye.
Lovely business to work for. They gave us a real good price.
Aye.
That's why.
Aye, but they're here to service you in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
They're out of the game.
So
That's what the average is, isn't it?
It's having that to stay competitive, but look after your workforce.
Yeah.
I say the team's as good as what we got around us, and grow it for them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you look after the staff, they look after your customer. So that's a kind of it works in full circle.
So diving into a little bit of aircon then. So it's an industry trade that I don't think a lot of people are really clued up on.
Yeah.
You know, I've done some basic air-to-air units previously, so I've got a base understanding of the operation. Been on holiday, so I've seen the aircon units working full force. But a lot of people still don't think that it's suitable for England because of the temperatures, especially in Scotland.
Yeah.
So, you know, how do you deal with that being in Scotland and, you know, trying to educate the end user to the units that are available and what they operate and achieve?
Yeah. So commercially, that's just what people fit now. So it's like you don't see many wet systems in offices and stuff. So like all the architects and stuff are putting them in as standard now. But domestically, people are now known to do heating as well. So if you've got a conservatory, for example, or like an extension with loads of glazing, they're roasting in the summer and generally freezing in the winter. So the aircon unit does cooling and heating now. It's a good fit.
And what's the temperature? Is it 16 to 30, the temperature range on it, or?
Yeah, but 16 is cold, so
Yeah.
it's kind of
Surprising when it kicks out the temperature of 16 degrees, isn't it?
aye. It's normally about 18, so aye. But the domestically, people are like, see if the house isn't suitable for an air source heat pump because it's not got the insulation levels.
Yeah.
They're now understanding, like, they're now getting called air-to-air heat pumps. So if your house isn't suitable for an air source heat pump, it can be suitable for like an air-to-air heat pump, because we've been fitting them in offices for 25 years with no insulations.
Yeah.
And when you, apart from newer offices, you don't see a well insulated kind of office. So and they work fine. They have great efficiencies. So people are adopting that into their homes now. And they are more efficient than air source heat pumps because you're not converting it to water. You're just direct to air, and then you're not relying on the radiators. Like, you're actually got a fan that's blowing it about.
Yeah.
So like, you can put one unit in and it can blow into multiple rooms and stuff as well. So
Do you know what the efficiency of a aircon unit is?
it's about 400%. Aye, for every 1 kilowatt you're putting in,
That's the return then on the heat
yeah.
and air.
It's about at least a quarter of the running costs of electric heating. So it's a bit of a no-brainer.
Got me thinking now. So yeah, I'm gonna have to have a word with my gonna have to have a word with my management company for the showroom.
Yeah.
See if we can get an aircon unit in there anyway.
Gives a shit.
Yeah. I'll be taking some photos later when I get down there. So what, obviously, in terms of, you obviously do the commercial, domestic, what's the aircon units that you specialise in? You know, what is your kind of bread and butter of aircon units?
The brand?
Yeah.
It just depends really on the customer. Panasonic are a great mid-range. Your Mitsubishis and Daikins and Toshibas, you get some good looking units now. They're not your old cream units that you see rattling on holiday. You get kind of designer ones now that have got nice like mesh covers and stuff, and different colours that fit in my homes more.
Do they still come pre-gassed, or do you gas them all up yourself?
Yeah, they come pre-gassed.
Yeah, just marking it and test and turn it on.
Yeah, aye. But for domestic homes as well, it's we can fit ducted systems, so you could put one up in the loft, and then you can duct into like 5 rooms and have the return there in the hall.
So you can have the unit inside, can you?
Yeah, the indoor unit would be mounted inside the loft, and then it's just ducts that go into the room.
Yeah.
So instead of having a wall unit on the wall or in the ceiling,
Yeah.
you're just in a wee round like 200mm vent, and that's enough to heat or cool. So
It's a good system, that. Yeah.
Some people don't like it. They're not used to seeing something kind of quarters of the way up their wall. You know?
And that will obviously remove the need for any central heating throughout the property.
Yeah, no central heating.
So you stay warm and hot.
You get all your wall space back.
Yeah.
A couple of vents in the ceilings. You get plastering grills and stuff as well, which are pretty pretty cool. If you were building a house, you would just do it air to air.
Yeah.
See the amount of foreign people that have moved across here, or like they've got it in the house, or they've got a holiday home abroad, or they've maybe moved to like Australia, and that's all they've got is air to air systems, and they go, "Oh, it works amazing. Like, we want that in our house here."
Yeah, no, there's some setup on that, really, isn't it, to bring it through?
Yeah, aye.
So I suppose that would work in similar tandem to like the heat recovery system, similar sort of setup to that. Obviously, different operation.
Is that the ducted
Yeah.
systems? Yeah, your heat recovery systems, that's doing your air changes in your property.
Yeah,
So you need that. You still need the air changing because you'll get condensation and stuff. But the aircon units, they just recirculate the air inside the property. So every time it gets through, it heats or cools.
so we've talked about obviously the aircon units heating up, cooling down. So in terms of doing that through a house, we've got the ducting system.
Yeah.
What about the wall units? Can that be operated just for a bedroom, for a kitchen, or can that be operated for the house? What's the design plan on that?
Yeah, you can have multiple units off the one outdoor. So you can have up to, in some products, you can have 6 indoors off the one outdoor unit. So you can get the full house with it.
And that'd be from the outdoor unit in its recommended position with 8, or depending on how many units you have, but obviously 2 pipes per unit
Yeah,
going to each unit and back to that outdoor unit.
that's right. Yeah. Aye. Then you can heat and cool the full house.
And that'll be obviously individually controlled per unit, so it's a bit like a radiator really for the room.
Per room,
Yeah.
yeah. Although they've all got to be on heating or all on cooling.
Right, okay.
We can split floors up and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, because upstairs, if it's like, for instance, a loft that's been refurbed, like with the high insulation levels now, like your 300mm insulation,
Yeah.
it cooks up there. So you want that kind of to be able to operate on cooling.
So yeah, so then you would have 2 units outside for that then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
So if you wanted that split control, you just add more units outside.
Yeah. Aye. That's exactly it.
Perfect. And the range of units that they come in, obviously, I've seen the Tripper where they're with Worcester boilers. They now do black boilers and chrome flues. I take it the air units are the same.
Exact same. You can even get red ones. Aye.
The red arrows on the wall.
There's some pretty cool ones out there. We've recently set up a wee showroom that customers can come in and physically see them, and because there's quite cool ones with like kind of see-through cover that's got kind of brushed, like a brushed effect behind it and stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So what setup do you have in your showroom? What ranges do you have there?
We've got all the designer ones basically. We've got an air source heat pump. We've got the cassette ones that are in the ceiling. We've got them all.
So yeah, if anyone wants to drive to Scotland to have a look,
Yeah.
take a drive. With the aircon giving you the 2 different sources of heat and cool air, if we were to remove the radiator system, how does that affect the rest of the operation of the house and the works?
Yeah, so if you're getting rid of the fossil fuel, the gas, if you're taking that out completely, you can get like sun amp heater batteries and stuff, and you could do it with like solar panels doing your immersion heating. There's also a cylinder you get that's got a small heat pump on the top of it, and that gets ducted out through a wall. So it's basically like your fridge. So the compressor in the back of your fridge, and that heats the water, and then it ejects the cold air out through the walls.
Right, okay, so that'd be a hot water cylinder in the airing cupboard in the middle of the house, possibly.
Yeah.
And then all it is just a ventilation duct from that position going to the outside air.
Aye.
I haven't seen them myself, but yeah, this is pretty good setup for flats and bits.
The sun amp heater batteries are quite clever as well. You just kind of charge them up with electricity, and then the water passes over them. It works in the same way as the kind of hand warmers it changes state from a liquid to a solid. It generates the heat, and then the water passes through that. But they're quite compact, so if you've not got the room for a big water cylinder, they're about a third of the size. So
Yeah, so there's plenty of stuff available on the market for the change.
yeah,
Obviously, the other option, if you really wanted to supersize things, I suppose, would be to fit a SLC pump for the hot water.
yeah, aye.
If you kept some, you might want to keep some small heating
Yeah,
as a backup if some people are still skeptical about removing everything.
yeah,
At least then you got the air source, you're completely renewable and off that for the natural gas source then.
aye. You can do both. Aye.
So onto the air source side of things, as we're on it, what is your kind of range of installations on air source?
We just do air source heat pumps in domestic properties. We do quite a few like kind of new builds, self builds, and we retrofit as well.
So that can be from anything from 2 to 8 beds. The air source is compatible for all sizes. It just depends on the size of the air source that that's fitted out on the outside wall and the size of the hot water cylinder inside, really.
Aye, air source heat pumps are brilliant with underfloor heating. So if you're designing a house,
Yep.
or you're doing it's underfloor heating all the way. And what we just did a house recently, and if I get to the point I'm lucky enough to build a house, this is how I would do it. I would do the air source heat pump for the ground floor. So most of your ground floor is solid floors, which you would want heated, because it's like normally your like kitchen, living room, your hallway, kind of tiled floors normally. So I would have that heated underfloor, but then on the upstairs I would have an air-to-air heat pump with vents in the ceiling, all plastered in, and that would do the cooling. But the cooling would fall down and cool the rest of the heat, and then the downstairs, and then your air-to-air would do heating and cooling for upstairs. So that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, nice and efficient. Yeah, I've always found it difficult with the air source, with being the retrofit that that you see all the bad press about, really.
Yeah.
Because the houses just aren't suitable with the insulation.
Aye.
The air source heat pump shouldn't really be retrofitted with the technology that they have at the minute.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Like you say, with the insulation on new builds, or extensions, or any new work that's being done with the insulation, underfloor heating.
Yeah.
If you can get some panels on the roof as well, then it's even better. Again, you'll be very low cost on running.
Yeah. We say all the time that properties that shouldn't have had it fitted. Do you know what I mean? But we're in the position where, because we do air-to-air heat pumps and air source heat pumps, we can give an unbiased opinion and go, "Look, you shouldn't be getting this." Like, when we can price you on an air-to-air, which will be more suitable for the property, rather than just sell them what we do.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it is better for the customer to get that unbiased opinion.
Yeah. No, I mean, but for us both sides, I'm down Devon and Cornwall, where there's no not much city in most country. So all the farmhouses where you see the air source, it's incorrect.
Yeah.
And likewise with you probably drive through your rural areas,
Yeah.
and see all the kind of spots where it shouldn't be done.
Yeah. Seeing that, I've got a old laughing plaster house, sandstone walls, no insulation. I've got an air source heat pump, still works. Did I save money? No. My bills are the same.
Yeah.
It still works. It's been designed the way it still works, but you don't get much cost savings from it. So
No. I mean, when you're outlaying the initial costs for a customer
yeah.
to be using that, the outlay is on the intention to be making that money back.
Yeah.
And saving the money and being more efficient and green, rather than spending the same money.
Aye.
And having a large bill on the install cost.
Aye. If you're retrofitting, you need to change all the radiators. It becomes a big cost. But up in Scotland, we've got some good grants. It's like £7,500 grant, and then you get a £7,500 interest-free loan. So if it's designed right, your loan payment should get paid from your energy savings.
Yeah.
So you're technically getting it for nothing. But if you start adding changing all the radiators and loads of other stuff, it becomes can become a cost.
Yeah. Yeah, it don't take much to add up, especially with the pipe sizing that's required and
Yeah,
everything else. You said about the MCS registration or paperwork earlier.
yeah.
How do you find fitting air source dealing with all the MCS paperwork and the heat loss calculations? And is that something that you do with yourself?
No, it's I've got somebody. I used to do it, but Ross in the office, he designs it all, and he's done the heat geek course, so he knows his stuff. Like it's.
I bet that's a nice role to pass on to someone off your hands.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's quick at it now, and aye.
Yeah, good job there. Yeah, I wouldn't really fancy myself, I don't think.
There's a lot to it.
So obviously your property there doesn't, there's no difference between your new air source heat pump and your existing boiler.
Yeah.
Did you change your radiators as well? Did you upsize everything with that, or have you just changed the energy source?
Due to mine being an older property, like when they upgrade, like plumbers would come in and go, "Oh, it needs that size of radiators." So my radiators majority of them were oversized to begin with. I had to add an additional couple or move a couple about, but
So obviously I'm going into the performance side of things for a normal domestic house. To get that performance, ultimately it is down to completing the full package.
yeah, definitely, Like if my house was a customer's house, we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But we needed our MCS.
And it's always good to test your own house.
And I'm not gonna push something I don't believe in.
Yeah.
So like I believe I believe in the associate pumps if it's in the right property. I believe in aircon heat pumps. They work great, and anyone we're fitted, so people are over the moon with them. So got to sell stuff you believe, and then that's how we started the solar side as well. Because if you're moving people away off gas onto electric, like why not generate your own electricity to power the aircon heat pump or the air source heat pump?
Yeah.
Just makes sense. And then,
No, absolutely.
but the first question people gets asked, I've not got my heating on a sunny day, but like you can heat your water during the day when the sun's out.
Yeah.
You get free hot water. You can cool your property in the summer with aircon, and it's free cooling. Or if you've got the battery storage, you can buy the electricity for a third of the cost during the night, and then when you need the heating on during the day and stuff, you can use that cheap electricity you've purchased in your batteries to power your heat pump. So it ties in.
Goes hand in hand together.
Mm-hmm.
And on the grant side of things, you said there's a £7,500 grant available in Scotland for your air source, and there's 0% interest free for £7,500 in Scotland as well. Is there anything like that for solar or air conditioning, or is that just air source heat pumps?
Yeah, it's just 0% VAT the government's done. There's no grants available, but
So it's 0% on air conditioning as well, so anything renewable?
yeah, on your aircon for your house, it's 0% VAT. But the cost of an aircon is about a quarter of the cost of air source heat pumps. So,
Yeah, you don't necessarily need the grant because you'd be saving that anyway.
yeah,
With selling the air source heat pumps, how have you found that with the customers' knowledge of the air source? Because obviously it is in the press everywhere. Become renewable, fit an air source heat pump. Natural gas is being stopped. It's not being stopped. It never will be, not in our lifetime, I don't think. But obviously they're there pushing it. And I've seen it when we do the gas works. People are scared of or worried about having gas boilers refitted.
yeah,
Because they want, they see the news, and then they also see the news at the same time. Say, well, I want an air source heat pump, but I've seen the news and I don't want an air source heat pump because of the news and how inefficient they are.
yeah.
So it's kind of counteractive with what they're telling you and what the customers then are seeing and reading. How have you dealt with their expectations and their knowledge when you go to air source heat pump quotes or any renewable quotes?
I think it's changing. The more air source heat pumps are getting installed, the more they never used to get installed right. Like 10, 15 years ago. And then so technology's changed, the installs have got better, people have been trained, there's more better courses. So just all that, and then it's building people's confidence more. So anyone we've fitted, they've been really efficient, more efficient than the software actually puts out. They've actually seen better efficiencies. So,
Sure.
And then the more people that are getting them installed, they're telling their neighbours in the street, and then I think the word's getting out that they are in the right property.
Yeah.
They do work.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things you said there is the technology. The technology is coming along, isn't it? So, I keep fairly up to date, not as up to date. I'm not MCS or nothing. I don't fit them massively, but we keep up to date a little bit with what's going on. And the temperature, or the heat output for the air source and the efficiency of the heat output is changing constantly and upgrading, isn't it? So, I think that's the key for me. I think to get that to a sustainable level where it's still efficient at a good temperature, and obviously it can operate for more retrofits there to get his name back in the game then. So what's the lifespan of a air source heat pump?
It's generally about 15 years.
Is that, and what sort of warranty comes with that?
It just depends on the manufacturer, really. Valiant, they're offering a 7-year warranty with theirs, and they've got vans with fully stocked with air source heat pump parts. We've started fitting Valiants over. We used to fit Mitzi EcoDans. We've moved to Valiant because they've the backup service they've got with. I mean, if something's wrong with air source heat pumps, their own engineers are going out with a fully stocked van. Whereas if it was a Mitsubishi, we'd go out, check it, fault find it, and then we'd have to go and order a part. So for a customer, we feel it's better that having that Valiant backup there with readily available parts in their vans, just a no-brainer.
It's the customer service, the after sales, and that trust in the product you sell then as well, isn't it?
Aye.
So with the warranty coverage of that, what's the expectations of maintenance and servicing? Is it the same as gas boilers in terms of a 12-month service?
Yeah, 12-month service to keep your warranty. Yeah.
Is there any advice that you give to anyone looking for an air source heat pump, looking for something renewable?
I would, if you don't go to a company that can offer air source and air-to-air heat pumps, I would get 2 quotes off 2 different companies, just in case somebody's trying to sell you an air source heat pump for a house that's not suitable for.
Yep.
I would maybe at least get prices for the 2 options and a design done in the 2 options, and then make a decision off the back of that. But just so that you're not getting sold the wrong product.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different products, a lot of different manufacturers, and everyone's different in terms of the way they want to design and do something. So it's always best to have that second opinion on something of that size.
Definitely. Maybe get a couple of quotes as well, because it's what one guy is maybe doing, another guy isn't. So it's air source heat pumps, especially. So there's the design, the installation, and commissioning. If one of them are wrong, you'll have higher bills. So the 3 need to be totally bang on.
Yeah. So I've seen it as well where people are selling and fitting air source heat pumps without the MCS.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't then enable yourself for the grant, and either do you?
No, can't get the grant.
Got to make sure they're MCS registered.
Yeah.
That's all on the renewable side of things. So we've got some quick fire questions to flip through. So off the cuff, I'll fire them away to you.
Yeah.
And if you can give us your best answer for each of them. So what's the first thing you do when you get to site?
Is that commercial or domestic?
Commercial or domestic? Where is your best answer?
See if I need to. See if I need PPE.
Yeah, safety first.
Yeah.
Safe answer that.
What's the first thing you do when you get to site?
So now I'm not on the tools. Is more looking at straight away. How's the waste been left? And open the door. What's the dust sheet condition like? Inspection straight away. So keep an eye on making sure that everything's smooth from the front end.
Aye.
Do you tidy up as you go, or do you clean up at the end?
Tidy as you go.
Yeah.
Aye. So it's, you know where everything is.
Yeah. So we're using tape measures and pencils.
Aye. Tidy as you go or clean up at the end?
I tidy up as I go for the same reason, save stuff being lost. And if the customer was to pop in, then at least you've got a tidy area rather than a bomb site.
Aye, makes sense.
Are you radio on or radio off while working?
Radio off.
Radio off.
Well, if it's on in the office and that, I can't listen to the radio. It's the see the bits in between songs, the filling, talking about rubbish. It's just a distraction.
Yeah.
But if it's on site, on the tools, it's different than that. Radio on or radio off while working?
I'll be radio on when I'm working, yeah. Radio on is most of my day, to be honest.
Aye.
So yeah, it's pretty much from 8 o'clock through to 10 in the evening.
Aye.
Is the radio.
Aye.
Or music at least. So yeah, just keep
music.
the background, yeah.
Always good music. Aye.
So yeah, generally radio just for ease.
Aye.
But yeah, it's something in the background to break the silence. Drive myself insane house.
Aye.
What is skill to master in your trade?
Hiding pipe work.
Yeah.
Especially in the home. Aye. Like behind, like through cavities and stuff, just so that it's the best install.
Keep it tidy.
Yep. With minimal destruction.
Of course.
So they don't need to decorate.
Yeah.
Aye, it's a bit of a skill. Hardest skill to master in your trade?
Having leaks. Yeah, being a good solderer. So being able to solder joints properly without leaks, and probably in hand on that on the bathroom side of things as well is to be good at silicone.
Mm-hmm. All right. Aye.
To be fair, the hardest skill is probably being a good bathroom fitter all round.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many people that bathrooms that you look at who do an all right job. Is making that job excellent and outstanding.
Yeah.
It's working one with customers' expectations, which can be an all right job. But having that drive to be a top job.
Yeah. Aye.
What's the one thing you wish apprentices knew?
I've been quite lucky with apprentices, to be fair. I wouldn't have liked me as an apprentice, but
No. Must be a Scotland there, because they're not all top down mine.
I know we've been really, really lucky with our apprentices. Like, it's a tough one. Keep a clean van.
Yeah.
Tidy van, clean van. It does come over time, but
Yeah, it takes a while for it to be bedded in, doesn't it?
yeah, aye. If they put everything back, they know where everything is.
Yeah.
Aye. One thing you wish apprentices knew?
Common sense. They're all a bit dense. Straight out of school and kind of no life experience.
Yeah.
Kind of don't know how to tie the shoelaces still. Don't know how to make their packed lunch. And normally that lasts till about 24. And they start fending for themselves a bit more then. What do you find harder? Do you find the quoting or chasing payments the hardest?
Chasing payments.
Yeah.
I tend not to do it because it kind of just annoys me.
Get a bit emotional.
Aye.
Is the attachment to it, yeah.
Yeah, and then Alex, and Katie, they're both amazing at it, so I can lose the head.
Yeah, especially when they come up with silly excuses.
Yeah, aye. What's harder, quoting or chasing payments?
It's same as you, so chasing the payments, get emotional to it with the silly excuses, and yeah, it's not a job for me.
No.
So I won't get paid off anyone that's outstanding else.
Aye.
What do you find the most satisfying part of the job?
Seen a happy customer with a good install, and seen the guys growing as the company grows, see them making more money, and then see them coming in with a new car or a new home. It's like they've worked hard to get that, and we've as a company's created opportunity for them to work hard to get that.
Yeah,
That's what satisfies
yeah,
me.
gives a bit back to them.
Yeah. Most satisfying part of the job?
So the work that we turn out, the standard and level of quality that we have throughout the team. So yeah, everything's kind of checked over and finished to the highest level on all our jobs.
Brilliant.
We always put our effort in to do our best. So yeah, it's nice to see that come back through on the team.
Yeah, aye.
Have you ever had a client help and make it worse? In terms of, I'll cut that hole in the wall for you, and I've taken half the wall down.
Aye, sometimes, aye.
Yeah.
Can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there has been. We try and tend to do everything ourselves.
Yeah, keep her out of the way.
That.
Yeah, you pay for us to be in there now, leave us alone.
Aye. Ever had a client help and make it worse?
Yeah, obviously plumbing. A lot of things happen. So, customers try to help with tubs, and I'll pass this to you. I'll do this. Generally, it's more fixing the mistake before they help. So
Yeah.
they've already tried to do it themselves, and then we're there fixing it. So,
Aye.
yeah, it's just pay us to do the job and let us to do the job.
Leave us be.
Yeah. Is there a dream job or project that you'd love to work on?
I probably like one that we've just kind of completed. We kind of come in at the kind of halfway through that job, but I'd like to get the solar as well as the air to air for the first floor for heating and cooling, and then underfloor for the bottom floor, because that's the
All right through the house, then.
that's everything all talking.
Yeah.
All that's a kind of that's a dream job. Dream job project you'd love to work on?
Probably building my own house.
Aye.
Yeah, as a job project, it would be, but yeah, that sort of kind of aspect of things. Having obviously Stuart Temperature Solutions come in and do their thing on my house for me, and yeah, obviously do all the plumbing and building works throughout as well. So yeah, hopefully one day.
Aye.
What's the worst job you've been called to fix?
So it was a fish factory, gut chill, in the middle of the summer. Over a weekend it had sat not working, and then it was, and because the refrigeration
I can smell it. I can smell it already.
Because the refrigeration had packed in, the fans generated heat, so it was actually warm in there. Plus the sun, the van stunk for a couple of weeks after it. Couldn't get rid of the smell because it was up there.
Yeah. You need nose pads for that one. Yeah.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
What's the worst job you've been called to fix?
Is actually at my best mate's house. It's always your mate's jobs.
Aye.
So yeah, toilet wasn't flushing properly. Going around there, blocked soil pipe. Don't really like dealing much with blockages, so generally get the drain company out. It's my best mate's house, or family house. I was like, I'm going to have to go and have a look at soil pipe round through the attic space. Go around there and yeah, pulled it off, and the amount of toilet roll and crap that was in it.
Aye.
Definitely the worst job I've
Aye.
been told to fix. Yeah, and it's my best mate. So
Aye.
yeah,
Do it.
no, didn't even.
Can you walk away?
No, don't even think I got paid for it.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah, so yeah, I was shoulder deep
Aye.
in it, and yeah, not good.
Aye.
Obviously, doing your other renewable sources, obviously looking at solar. What's the motivation behind really trying to hit the solar market?
Yeah. So we've started solar because we're getting people to move away from fossil fuels through the air source heat pumps and the air conditioning heat pumps. So it makes sense to be able to generate your own electricity through solar panels in the roof to be able to power your electric heating. So it all just kind of ties in well together.
Yeah,
Aye. And then it's once you start learning about it and seeing the cost savings and it's I just start believe I really believe in it. I believe in saving money for the customer. That's the green side of it's we're not going to make a difference when China and USA are doing what they do. So the green side's high up in my agenda. What is high up in my agenda is saving our customers money
yeah,
on their energy bills through air source heat pumps, aircon heat pumps, and now solar to be able to generate their own electricity to power these items. It makes sense.
you're really a one-stop shop for all energy renewable services inside the house.
Aye. And with the battery storage, you can folks say in Scotland, we don't get the sun, but solar still works in dull days.
Yeah, it's all on the raise with solar, isn't it?
Yeah, aye. And then when you've got your battery storage as well, like with the octopus tariffs, buying the cheap electricity at night and then using it during the day, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Once you see the software and what it calculates, you look at the payback time. Solar it makes so much sense, and that's without taking into it powering your other devices that are more energy efficient.
And obviously, so when the energy's been obviously used, it will store within the battery. So you've got the battery usage for your own property.
Yeah.
And when that battery's full, it just kicks back to the grid.
Yeah, that's right.
So then, obviously, as soon as that battery fills up, you then earning the money from that
Yeah, aye.
to reduce. And so, what's the general install time of a solar install?
It depends on the size, but kind of 1 to 2 days you can kind of.
Yeah, and that's obviously scaffolding up
Aye.
around the property for that as well. So
Yeah, aye. Yeah.
minimal disruption really for a good return on investment on the solar side of things.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Aye. No, solar just makes so much sense, and the way the electricity bills are going, it makes even more.
Keeps
more
us down.
sense. Aye.
Yeah, I was listening to Kev yesterday. He's paying £500 a month on his energy bills.
Aye.
So yeah, straight away I was like, you need some renewables in there. Yeah.
Definitely. It's aye. We're just about to get it in the showroom as well. We're just the final stages of design for that, and we'll get it put on there. And
Yeah.
We've got to practice what we preach. So.
Yeah. You'll have it on your roof in a minute with your air source heat pump.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. I'm getting it. My roof isn't at all suitable really, but we're going to make it work, and it will. It's more for the batteries.
Yeah.
I want it for to buy the cheap electricity at night, because my roof isn't ideal, but it makes sense to get the panels as well for doing the.
Yeah.
Aye.
Bring that
Battery.
cost back down on your bills.
Yeah. Aye.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to another Fired Up with AF podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you took some things away, and I hope it was educational for yourself. So please don't remember to give us a like, a comment, and the subscribe, and you get a free voucher for High Street vouchers. And remember, stay in touch for our showroom updates as well. So big thank you to Gregor and sharing your information and your business of what you do. Pleasure to have you on. And yeah, so if there's any questions or information you want to get through to myself or Gregor, our links and information will be in the bio below this. Just get on our pages, give us a message, or leave a comment on here, and we'll get back to you. Take it safe.